Warriors, I'm live, and it's sort of like the wake-ish. I'll do a good wake on the movie later on. But hey, guys, so I've been here. Look at me, press pass, all fancy schmancy, right? And then we have the station press pass, right? I love the blob picture that we got on there. But anyway, so yesterday, this whole weekend is the Westchester Film Festival. And it's Westchester, Pennsylvania, not Westchester, New York, right? Just so you know, so you don't run out to Westchester, New York and go, where are your movies? So, I was there last night for the opening, right? Now, first of all, right, yes, I'm dressed like this, no horns, because try to get an interview with somebody, right, that's not horror related, saying you're from a station from New York, wearing a biker jacket and horns. Doesn't work too well unless you're in that horror block, which I was in last night too, and we'll talk about that. But went to the opening, got 3 really cool interviews. I got one interview with the lady from America 250, right? And I went over what we're doing with the horror host and what I'm going to do with Scouts. And I'm hoping to get my fellow Darbarians involved. Paula, expect a call. Okay. And what we're doing is with the horror host, we're going to do the America 250. Today at noon, which I got to get my ass out there, is her presentation. Told her I'd be there, and then we're going to go over some logistics. But, all right. So last night, right, I interviewed 3 people. One person was somebody I interviewed last year at Delco Horror Haven's Invasion, right, which he made a movie, right. It's about black zombies who were buried in Washington Square in Philly, which is true. They're not zombies, but there was a ton of black slaves buried in Washington Square. And when they renovated it, whenever, I don't remember, right, they just put everything right over the graveyard. So, what this short is when they started digging up there and they found these bodies, they became zombies, but they only eat white people, right? Funny concept, right? A lot of people that I talked to about it weren't too keen on the theme. Loved the movie, right? And the movie's great. So I spoke with him. We have his movie, and he's going to make a feature film, depending on, distribution and all that kind of stuff. We might have that one coming up. That won't be till 2028. God help, I'm still here. Now, what do I want to say? Oh, so, and I also interviewed, this one fella, and his movie's a thriller. Now, I'm going to run down the movies that I watched last night, right? All were amazing, right? 1, Pie Girl, right? It's a little bit about this lady of a pie shop, right? And it's kind of neat because you could tell this lady loves what she does, right? It's all about how she got, that up, right? Next movie, right? And I still don't get the ending, right? I'm going to get a hold of the author or the director and all that, right? It's called The Drive. And basically what it's about this lady taking, her kids home, and one kid's going to stay for an overnight. Meanwhile, Kennedy's getting shot, right? And it's on the radio, and she keeps turning it off. And then meanwhile, some Secret Service agent comes up behind her and takes the kid that she was supposed to babysit that night. And I don't know where that went. So, If Cities Could Dance, right? It's about a bunch of, it's a gay dance troupe down in Atlanta that got together during COVID, right? And they could dance. It was pretty cool. The next one is Eru, right? We will have this on here. If I gotta go to the director, knock on his door, and grab the film out of his VCR. Because it's a Viking cartoon, sort of reminiscent of like Samurai Jack, that kind of animation. If you remember Samurai Jack, Cartoon Channel, right? Really surreal series, right? I loved it. And basically it's about like this girl, and it reminds me of Brave. I think it's Brave. The Disney movie with the redhead. It sort of reminds me of that, but it's really good, and it's deep at the end. All right. Do evil thoughts make an evil man? Wow. I can't tell you about it. We have this movie, right, for our Shorts Fest. I already spoke to the two fellas, and they thought it wouldn't fit. I saw the movie. Holy shit. Psychological thriller, and it makes you think. Which might be too good for our show, I don't know. Right? A Long Walk for Water. It's a documentary about women in Africa and the troubles they have to do to get water for their village every day. It was amazing. Leaf, nah. Right? Panic Switch, another great thriller. You guys will love it. The Pearl Comb. Now, I saw that twice because it popped up at, it popped up at the horror one. It's about a mermaid, right, who was a siren, if you know that legend, the Greek legend, right? And it was amazing, you know. And then Becoming a Man, a prequel, it was all right, you know. Then the pop-up block. So they had a specific horror pop-up block. So I ended up taking off my polo shirt and my Jeff cap. I wore the gray one yesterday. And yes, and I met somebody there that actually watches our show. And they're from the university. He said that he's a security guard and he watches it while he's working. And he's a security guard at one of the buildings at night, right? Well, it's closed. But he watches the show, which I thought was pretty cool. And he goes to me, do you always wear a hat? He goes, I look at your Facebook page, right, for the show and for the MD, right? You always have a hat. Yes. All right? Now, long story short, men in my family go bald. I am one of the few that have not gone bald. I did a DNA test. My dad's my dad. So get off that right there, okay? Now, but I always wear a hat. I always did. I have a cold head, right? So, but he was laughing. He goes, because I literally saw him at the original block, the kickoff block, and then I saw him at the horror block because I got changed. I got rid of my Jeff cap and my polo, threw my Darbarian hat on, my Darbarian shirt and vest, right? Boom. But it was just funny. You always wear a hat, Darbarian. You can call me John, and yes, I do. All right. Now, we go over to a coffee house, right? And first of all, right, I got the wristband. I could have drank all I wanted. But you ever try to do an interview when you're loaded? Don't work. They'll be like, I loved your movie. It was great. No, can't do that. So I had one beer during the movie, and I had one beer when I walked in because the guy that was running it, you know, brought me over and goes, I hear you like beer. I'm like, yeah, you know. But then I had one during the movie, but I didn't have any when I was doing the interviews, right? And then when I went to horror pop-up block, I had a... You guys know about my knee. I'm done complaining about it, but it was a long, hard walk. I'll tell you that. It hurt. Hurt like a bumpa-dumpa-dum. So, the first movie they had was Octopus. And very science fiction-ish, right? Thriller-ish. Makes you think, right? Holy cow. It was really good and it was deep. Then you get to the end, it was great. I'm trying to get my light out of there. Yeah, I'm in the living room. You know, I'm upstairs from the lair. I'm in the Helga area. which is called like The Rest of the House. Okay. Then Playing God. Oh, man. Another deep one. Very, 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 right? Then White Meat Appetizer. I told you about that. We already have that for our show. Can't wait. The guy that I interviewed, funny as hell. What a great personality. I don't have his card with me right now, but he was a man. And it was funny. So when I came walking in to the original kickoff block, right? I actually had a lady whose job was to get people for me to interview, which I thought was hysterical. I was like, important. But when they hear New York Station, they like fall all over you. What can I tell you, John? Right? Glad it's in Brooklyn, not in like, Fishtown, PA. Anyway, so, but he's a great guy, right? I'm telling you, right? And I can't wait to get his movie on there. And I really hope when he gets his feature film out that we can get a copy of it to show, because you guys will be entertained. Are you not entertained? You guys will be entertained. It's really good, right? The Quinta's Ghost, right? It was pretty good, and it was animation, and I couldn't, it was a French film. I couldn't read, because God gave me good looks, not height. I'm an undertold American. I couldn't read the subtitles, right? The animation was amazing. It was amazing. It sort of reminded me of like Ian Flux, but like dark. I don't know how to explain it, but it was really, really good. You guys will love it, right? And then the Pearl Comb, which is the mermaid movie, right? Now, every one of the horror block was a banger. I'm going to try to get those guys. I'm going to try to do some interviews. Now, this morning, right, I'm going to whine about my knee. I got home last night. I actually had to take the pain pill, which I've been avoiding taking, right? And I didn't get up in time. But this morning, they had a block where, how to get your films and all that out. I would have loved to have been there to meet those people. And it's like, ugh, I could not get up this morning. And then at 10, they had the Young Filmmakers block, which is always entertaining because you see these high school kids, right? And some of them are really, really good. Some are meh, but some are really, really good. Okay? And then, like I said, I'm heading up to the America 250 event, which I have to leave in like 5 minutes, right? And then they have films at the Uptown from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock, right? So my plan is I'm going to go watch the America 250. I'm going to pop in at Kildare's, right? And I'm going to grab myself a cheesesteak, right? And a pop. And then I'm going to head on down for the rest of the movies up at the Uptown. And I can't wait because they are all entertaining. And if you are in the Chester County, Philadelphia area, Chester County, outside of Philadelphia, right? It's cold and miserable out today, right? Come out, you'll be inside and watch some movies, and you'll be thoroughly entertained. Now, tomorrow, right, I am going to, so they have a bunch of things tomorrow. So I'm going to get up, go to Mass early, right? And then I'm going to, 9 o'clock, they have From Script to Scream. Building better horror, right, films, scripts, and all that kind of stuff. I can't wait. And it's at the Sidebar, which is like the lawyer's bar in Westchester. Food is amazing there, and they have a really good beer selection. Now, granted, it's going to be 9 o'clock in the morning. I won't have a beer then. But at 11 o'clock, right up the block at the beer hall, which is a great bar, German bar, I'm hoping I'm going to get some schnitzel for lunch, right? But they're having their animation block, right? And if you remember last year, I went to Marty McGee's, and I saw their animation festival, right? And you guys saw, like, there was a couple furries there that were really into being, like, this one lady, like, when I was talking to her and I decided not to interview her, was, like, actually, like, licking herself like a cat. Cat ears, right? And then she had this one good-looking dude walk by. He was, He worked there. He was carrying a keg, right? Built like a truck. And when he walked by, she started to purr, and I'm like, I'm out. But anyway, hopefully she won't be at the animation block tomorrow, because that just freaked me out. I'm an old man. I don't understand furries. I don't understand where that stands in the LGBTQ plus thing. I just don't, right? Don't be mad. I'm just an old guy, right? Do what you want, makes you happy. Doesn't mean I have to understand it. Then, they have film blocks at 1 o'clock, 3:30, and 6. They're having a big closing party. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm definitely going to go to the Scream thing and the animation block, right? Whether I get till I won't be at the 1 o'clock set because I'm picking up Jimmy from the airport. Montana. Where do you go for spring break? Florida, Texas, California, Montana. I didn't say I had the brightest kids. Had good-looking kids. I didn't say I got the brightest kids. But then I'll be back for the block at 3:30 and the Best of the Fest closing party awards, all that kind of stuff. That is what I'm looking forward to, because that when you get the people that win the awards, they're going to want to talk up a storm. The people that lost the awards, I'm going to get their cards and then I'll chat with them later, because might not want to be talking about if I didn't win. But, so I am walking out the door. It is 11:20 here in beautiful downtown Downingtown. And I'm heading down to Westchester. Guys, if you're going to come, look for me. Got the black chaff hat. And then I might throw the vest on later on today for some interviews. It depends. Again, it depends... on the mood of the place. If they're into like being goofy, I might throw it on. If not, I got to be serious, right? Guys, you want good interviews? I got to act like a professional, right? I mean, I got the badges now, so I got to act like, I'm somebody, which I am. I am the Mad Darbarian. So this was the Westchester Film Fest week. I'll do the one for Rituals, which played last night, which is really a good movie. And if you guys watched it, right, I'm sorry you might be disappointed that, we had a movie on that was really good for once. But I'm telling you, when we got Rituals, I'd never even heard of it, right? And I watched it and I said, man, that reminded me of Southern Comfort, not the whiskey, the movie that came out in like the 80s. And if you ever get a chance to watch it, what a great movie. Oh my God. I don't know why that movie never made it. Like, it was one of those movies, it was at the movie theater, like, it's the 80s, right? Died, and then it was on Prism. And it was so popular on Prism, I remember, like, no matter when I would turn the TV on, if it wasn't on then, there was an advertisement for when it was going to be on. So, all right, Mad Darbarian, a.k.a. John the Mole. I'm out. Off to Westchester Film Fest. And guys, I'm telling you, if you get a chance, come. Right? It's a really good film fest. The people running it are the nicest people on the planet. The one lady I'm dealing with, her name is Victoria Rose. And she was the lady who was actually the year that the one guy passed out and we had to give CPR to. Me, in my vest, right? At a horror fest. That was more entertaining than the movies that year. But, guys, I'm out, and I'll talk to you guys. I'm going to do a couple pop-up lives when I'm at the fest, and I'll talk to you. See ya, and aloha, Skull Brothers.